All right, all right. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Two in the Zone. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's been crazy dead. I think we're super on fire when it comes to NBA bets. How are you doing, man?
Yep. What's up, brother? Yeah, the show's been rolling a little bit. Had a good NBA night last night, thanks to the Lakers. But your Mavericks let me down a little bit there, AC, late in the game.
Yeah. So I was not on that game at all. A bunch of people reached out to me on DM and email asking what side. And I actually told them the Nets there. So you should have told me, man. I would have given you mojo and said that the
I could
Mavericks.
have, I could have used it there, but yeah, I ended up doing Nets second half. I tried to go for a nice middle, so could have been worse, but yeah, typical Mavs. That's been the struggle, them closing out games.
Yeah, they can't close out, and especially at home. And then for me personally, I went 1-1, so I was actually on the Spurs last night.
Hmm.
Lost that one because the Knicks had an awesome third quarter, and then I was on the Lakers, and then I pressed second half too because it was definitely a Lakers spot last night. There's only 3 games, man. Did you get to watch any of them before we move on to tonight's slate?
Yeah, I called the Lakers game. Pretty, I didn't really watch the fourth quarter much due to the blowout, but Westbrook actually had a big spark in that third quarter there. I see. So, I've been tough on him, as I think a lot of people have. Issue for them, I think, might be separating, as weird as it sounds, like him and LeBron from being on the floor together. Him and AD. It seems like
Right.
all three of them don't flow super well, but I mean, he's still Russell Westbrook, and he showed up, when he had to. LeBron was phenomenal in that first half. Typical LeBron game. He was really had it going. Tatum had it going early for the Celtics, but this didn't have enough firepower, the Celtics, to keep up without Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, I agree with that. For those who are just joining for the first time, we do this NBA show every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We recap the previous night and then we get into the current day's favorite bets. We actually get into almost all the games and then we analyze and give you guys some of our best angles. This show is brought to you by Seven Stack Sports, one of the best, let me correct that, the best Twitter book out there. They've been running so many promos, so many odds boosts. There was one recently where like you could bet plus 77 on both sides and still get plus 200 odds. So it's like free money there. But we know him pretty well. He's super reliable, awesome customer service. He's been in like the Twitter book space now for like 4 or 5 years, has over 2,000 clients. And the best part of it, if like you and I are handicappers, we're focusing on a lot of games that the cool thing about Seven Stacks is all of their NBA and NFL games are only at minus 105 juice. So definitely look into that because minus 105 versus minus 110 is a big
Huge
change if
difference.
you're doing, yeah, huge difference when you're doing a lot of bets. So props to Seven Stack Sports. DM them right now. You see it on the screen at Seven Stack Sports. Let them know either Dead or myself sent you, and they'll hook you up with a nice little promo. That's new customers as well as current
All
customers.
right.
I've had people who like just are already Seven Stack Sports customers then, and they just reach out to him and he'll hook them up with like a free play or something like that. So definitely just DM them and get some engagement going. Um, all right, let me kind of pull out our amazing graphic here. So we did last night's recap, right?
Woo!
Last night, look at that. Last night's recap. Great job. The Nets coming back. Kevin Durant, one of the best closers in the NBA. Mavs, terrible. One of the worst closing teams in the NBA. They were up basically all game, and they blew that game late. I think there needs to be a trade there. Let's talk about that, Dad. So right now, there's a lot of noise about Ben Simmons, Sabonis on the Pacers, maybe even Karis LeVert, Miles Turner, CJ McCollum out there in Portland. But I think Dallas should be one of the teams that's looking to trade too, because it's really Luka and then KP's playing a lot better this year, I fully admit, but there's just something really flawed with that team.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like I forget who said. I think Charles Barkley said last night they're wasting Luca's prime, and I wouldn't say that to that degree because I think he has a lot more left in the tank. But I mean, they have to surround him with a better roster. AC. I think Tim Hardaway's a guy who stepped up for them. He wasn't great last night, but I don't
He
do.
was 0 for 7. He was 0 for 7 from 3 last night, I believe.
Yeah, he's a guy who just I like him a lot, but again, is he a two? By no means. I don't think KP's a two on a great team. I think he's
Yeah.
more of a three. Um, like you said, he's played better this season, but yeah, the Mavs are going to need some help. The thing with the Mavs, though, and what do they have to offer? I guess picks, or who's the young. Like, they don't have a ton of young stars outside of Lucas. So maybe free agency, something they'll have to explore too. But now it does kind of suck because I love watching Luka play, but like the Mavs aren't a contender by any means.
No.
With this current roster to win a championship.
Yeah, I'm a big Mavs fan. As you know, I lived here in Dallas, born and raised, and heading into the season, Luka was a front runner for MVP, and I just didn't understand why. Like, not only was he, the favorite, but it was by a pretty wide margin for someone who's never really been in contention. It requires the Mavericks to win, and I was like, there's just no way that we're going to win like 55, 60 games to have Luka in the discussion. So that to me was weird. I think where they're at right now, just around 500, is pretty expected, to be honest. I know a lot of that COVID injuries, KP's been hurt, Luka's been hurt, but I think the Mavs need a change, just like your Sixers, just like the Blazers, just like the Pacers. So there has to be something out there with those four teams. Moving on to the other game. So the Knicks and the Spurs, I was on the Spurs, unfortunately. The Knicks, man, they were in a bad rut going into that game. It's a really long road trip. I want to fade them again tonight, by the way. But RJ Barrett stepped up and had over 35 points. He was hot from the field. How do you think about the Knicks, man? Are they for real?
Yeah, I mean, I would say at this stage in the season, you have to still be extremely cautious of the Knicks. The Spurs, like we've talked about, is it a good win? Yes and no. I don't think the Spurs team is a playoff team by any means. So I'm still concerned with the Knicks when they've had to play these playoff teams. Good win, though, for them last night. Nonetheless, a win's a win in the NBA. I personally played them first half.
That's right. You hit that.
I didn't trust them full game, so I was cheering you guys on for the full game spread. It was the NBA yesterday collectively was very square. I think all three games ended up, the Celtics-Lakers, actually, the Celtics might have ended up being, that was probably more evenly split, but we know the Nets were square and we know the Knicks were square. So, today, hopefully for you and I, we'll get some dogs to hit.
It was the Bing Bong parlay yesterday, man. 2 New York basketball teams and 2 New York hockey teams. So, I mean, props to them. All right, the last game here, we already kind of dove into it with the Lakers and the Celtics. The Celtics are still there right now. They're playing the Clippers tonight. Do you think last night's game is going to affect tonight's game against the Clippers?
To a degree, yeah. I think it's tough going with those back-to-backs, and they're always like this, the Staples Center back-to-back. So there's no travel involved, which I do think helps a little bit. It's not like they're going, to a different place to play. Clippers, though, AC, Paul George has been, we talk about MVPs, he's a guy I think you have to have right in the center of that debate, because without him, I mean, this Clippers team is god-awful. Like, it's a big step off without Paul. He's been phenomenal in the absence of Kawhi, and he's a guy who's taken a lot of heat the last few seasons. So we'll get into this game as the show goes on, but I do like the Clippers tonight in this spot. I think it's a tough back-to-back. No Jaylen Brown. I wouldn't say Jaylen Brown's more important than Jason Tatum, but the defense that Jaylen Brown brings and the two-way game that he plays, it's pretty damn close. So I think without Brown, I just can't back the Celtics when Jaylen's not in the lineup.
All right, before we get into tonight's slate, and I'm going to unveil our amazing graphic there. I guess you kind of mentioned it, MVP. I think the top 4 to me, and maybe I'm wrong. I haven't looked at any of the odds. This is just straight from the head, but I'm sure Steph Curry is leading. Chris Paul definitely has to be in that discussion. Giannis has already won 2 of them, so I don't know if they're going to give him another one, but he should be in that discussion because the Bucks are playing so much better. And then, like you said, maybe Paul George. Is there anyone I'm missing?
I'm going to try and look at the odds right now. I think you hit most of the big time ones, right? That we would assume. I got to imagine Steph's like a decently sized favorite. All right, well, he's plus 125, which for MVP is
there's no value. Yeah.
No. Durant's plus 500, Giannis 700, Jokic is plus 1,600, and then your boy Luke is still up there, 25, and then Jimmy Butler. So the order right now is Steph, KD, Giannis, Jokic, and Luka. They're the top five. So
I think that's a little disrespectful for Chris Paul, right? I mean, they have the
yeah,
best
he's
record.
nowhere. Well, yeah, they got Booker above him at the moment.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Pretty crazy. But like you said,
It can't be Jokic though. He's not going to win back to back.
no, I don't think Jokic wins back to back, and it's a tough to call early. But like you said, if you're betting Steph at plus 125, you're getting no value for an MVP type of bet. But yeah, I mean, it's been a hell of a season from him. I think Paul George should be up there a little bit more, maybe due to their record. But I mean, like I said, how I look at MVP is if you take a guy off the team, like you take Paul George off the Clippers, how many wins do they have at this point in the season?
Same with Luka. I mean, same with Luka, right?
Right.
I agree with that. All right, Dad, let's go ahead and reset the room. Let them know about 7 Stacks, and then you can get into tonight's game.
All right. Yes, sir. So, again, we want to thank our sponsor at 7 Stack Sports on Twitter, guys. 24/7 customer service, same-day payouts in Bitcoin. So, pretty crazy deals that they're going to be offering all week, a bunch of promos. So, keep an eye out. AC and I are always doing some stuff on the show. Give a lot of giveaways, simple as, retweet this video for $100. So, 7 Stack Sports are always looking to give some free money away to their loyal supporters, and we do appreciate our friends at 7 Stack Sports. Make sure you guys follow them on Twitter. Hit them up, say AC and Dead sent you from 2 in the Zone, and they'll get you a nice promotion to kick off your week. But AC, pretty loaded slate tonight, my man, to get into. With the NBA last night, we only had 3 games, but we're back to life tonight as we have a lot of games that we are going to chop it up with. The Bulls and Cavs I want to start with. Cavs at -3. We know that the COVID issues, right? DeRozan got ruled out for a little bit of time. Cavs, a little bit of those covering machines. I did fade the Cavs with success on Monday when I took the Bucks first half, so I want to pat myself on the back for that. We know Caruso's still a lot of injuries that they've had to deal with. He's been in and out of the lineup. Javonte Green's been in and out of the lineup. What's your thoughts on this? Did the Cavs get this done at home?
I'm going to say this every single episode. The Cavs are the best covered team in the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're 19-5 against the spread, including 9-3 against the spread at home. So they are an elite cover team. Dad, you know me, I don't like to handicap reacting to injury news or in this case, COVID news, but I think it's a Cavs or nothing play for me tonight. But I'm laying off. What about you?
It is tough because, I'm still not high on the Cavs. I know that they've proven me wrong before. I think this could be the time we see them cool off a little bit. So I do like the Bulls tonight in this spot. I think it's just a good value shot on them at plus 130. I do think the Cavs are, a good team, but I still don't even have them slated as a playoff team, to tell you the truth. I think they fall off. And I think it could start now after that, loss to the Bucks where they almost covered. They got hooked. They almost came back and covered that full game. So they have been covering machines, but how good have they been as favorites? And how often are they favorites? So I think they've been a good dog than they have been anything else. So I'm willing to take a shot here and fade them. All right, we're just talking about the Knicks coming off that big win last night. Pacers come in -5 at home. A lot going on in Indiana, AC. You and I were kind of texting about this on the side with the Sabonis and LeVert, Miles Turner. So really 3 of their 4 best players. Not Brogdon's name wasn't included in that. But 3 of their 4 best guys that they're willing to trade. So this kind of looks like a situation similar to Portland, like you said, similar to Philly. Maybe they work out some type of 3-way deals. But tonight we assume it's going to be the normal Pacers guys playing for them. Do you think that 5 is too many points for a team that kind of is going through maybe a little bit of a blow up here in the Pacers?
Yeah, Dad. So you know me, I've been burned by the Pacers the last couple months. Last couple weeks. I think I'm on echo there. You want to fix your volume. But no, all of that negative news, right? The trade stuff. They've been playing really poor. It's an extended homestand for them, and they've just been losing. But I like the Pacers tonight, Dad. Knicks are on the night of a back-to-back. They had to travel from San Antonio to Indianapolis. So it's a tough travel for them. They had a nice, impressive win on the road yesterday already. So I think they kind of look ahead from this game. So I do like the Pacers. I already sent it out as a free play, so I'm on it. Pacers -5.
I'm going to give you a scary play here, AC. And I say scary because you mentioned the back-to-back, but I think the Pacers team total under is a good play at 108. It's 107.5 some places. I would like to get 108, just a little more insurance there. But I think the Knicks are going to get back to being a better defensive team moving forward because I think Tom Thibodeau's kind of made it like he just took Kemba out of that lineup, right? I think he's kind of proving like I'm only playing guys who are two-way guys who are going to compete every possession. So I think this Knicks defense is better than they've showed the first month and a half of the season. And I think, they're going to start being a more competitive team on the defensive end. Offensively, I still think they're challenged, to tell you the truth. I don't think they have enough scoring and enough guys who can make individual plays, but I think they can still get it done defensively. So this is a play I'm going to turn to that. But I think this could just be a low-scoring game, and the Pacers still cover.
I hope you're right.
The side's tough, but I'm going to go with the team total under. All right, I see Hornets and Sixers. These teams just met up and played a couple nights ago. Sixers made it interesting. They took it to overtime, and now they get to meet right back up here tonight. We know the Hornets, COVID issues all over the place. Do you think the Sixers do cover this thing tonight after Monday night's game?
Yeah, so I was unfortunately on the Sixers that night. They were actually up double digits in the fourth, kind of blew it. The Hornets, Kelly Oubre just went off at the end of that game.
Yeah, he was going crazy.
Yeah, so it was actually a lucky win for the Sixers because they blew it and then Embiid hit the shot to get into overtime.
Right.
So it's weird that this is they're having a rematch. They're staying in Charlotte, so both teams are kind of like they haven't really gone anywhere. They've just been there in Charlotte, so I don't think there's an advantage for anybody there. Sixers, the way better team. They're much healthier right now. There's no COVID issues. They kind of gone through that already. So am I going to take the Sixers again tonight? No, but I do lean them if I had a gun to my head.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously a Sixers fan, so I stay away from a decent amount of their games. They say I stayed away last time, and this is another one tonight. I'm staying off. I think it's a tough spot. You kind of mentioned the back-to-backs and how they just played. But let's move along to the Bucks Heat. What's your thoughts on this? This is the ESPN game. Bucks at -6.5. We know the Heat injuries. Bam's been out, but when they played the Grizzlies, they did have Jimmy Butler back in the lineup, right? And they were still missing – or no, Matt, yeah, they were getting pretty healthy there. Do you think 6 is too many for the Heat? Obviously, no Bam. We know that.
Yeah, no Bam, no Jimmy, no Markieff Morris still from the Jokic injury. But one thing a lot of people don't realize, Milwaukee's only 16-9, right? Not very glamorous. They're only 11-14 against the spread. They don't really cover that well. But they are 10-1 in their last 11 games. They're getting a lot healthier. When their big three play, they are undefeated. They're a good 11-0 when they play. So I do think the Bucks definitely win tonight. Those points are tough. One backdoor three by Hero could cover that. So I kind of like the Bucks first half in this one. I know it's tough because they're on the road, but they're just the way better team and the healthier team, in my opinion.
Yeah, you hit my play on the head there, AC. I think this is a Bucks first half play with no Jimmy and Bam. Too much for them to survive against this Bucks team. I think you mentioned it a couple of days ago that the Bucks, when they've had Middleton, Holiday, and Giannis, they're undefeated, right?
Yep.
I believe so. You tweeted that out.
11-0. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean they've been dynamite when those guys go. They're going tonight. This is a team still not fully healthy, right? No Brook Lopez, no Dante DiVincenzo. I think a lot of people are just forgetting about the Bucks, but they're going to be, in my opinion, the team to beat again, right? When the time comes.
Agreed.
Kind of sucks that we don't see a fully loaded Heat team. I think this game would have been great tonight between the Bucks and Heat. And hey, it still might be, but I'm with you. I think the short line in the first half definitely favors the Bucks in this game. But let's move along here, AC, as we've hit a few of the early games. The Raptors and the Thunder. We've loved them as dogs this season.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think they get this done tonight? 7.5. Raptors kind of finding their footing a little bit of late. A couple home wins. do they get the cover tonight?
We got to ride it, man. We got to ride Thunder, big dogs. 7.5 points tonight. Oh, my gosh. Just give me the Thunder money line.
Yeah, it's a tough one for me. This is one, AC, when I had the Pistons Monday night when we did the show. against this Thunder team. And the thing with the Thunder is, and I've said it all season, they just don't quit. Like they were down 17 points multiple times in that game. I mean, the game was getting away from them a few times, but they just continue to fight. 7.5 points is a lot. I question though, if they're going to be able to cover in this spot tonight. The Raptors are a gritty team, defensive team. I think they keep them under the century mark tonight. I like the play on the team total under on the Thunder. As much as it hurts me to root against my Thunder team, I don't think they get to 100 tonight. I think that it's a good spot to fade the total, and we can cash that in tonight. I'm gonna reset the room, guys. Gonna blast out a tweet real quick, get everybody in to the live NBA show. We are bringing this episode as all sponsored by our friends at 7 Stack Sports. Make sure you guys give them a follow on Twitter. Shoot them a DM. Tell them AC and Dead Prez sent you over. Pretty crazy deals they've been doing. We've been doing huge odds boosts amongst other things. So make sure you guys get involved with them. A few more games to get through, AC. We did start a few minutes back, but we will try and wrap this up by like 2. We usually do these for 30 minutes, so it might be running a little bit behind, but just more time for you guys to hop on and check out the picks. The Nets we just mentioned with – am I seeing this line right at -3? Nets
weird,
and
right?
the Rockets.
It's weird.
Is KD – is one of them out?
Yeah, KD's out. LaMarcus is
Okay.
out. Kyrie obviously has been out. Joe Harris is still out. And the Rockets, I think they have everyone except for John Wall. So I think Christian Wood is coming back today. I don't know about Kevin Porter. But it is a weird line. It's super fishy. Again, guys, I don't recommend betting against injury. So I know KD is out and LaMarcus is out, and you're like, how can the Nets compete? But it doesn't mean it's a Rockets play or it's a Rockets blind bet. This is going to be a great second half spot in my opinion. Like I would probably wait to see how the Nets play with their second unit, and if they are actually pretty cohesive in that first half, maybe you just buck the trend and continue with the Nets in the second half. No play for me pre-flop though, Dad.
It's a tough call for me. I mean, if the Rockets win another game, AC, our bets
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I don't know if I can deal with it. It's probably a stay away game for me, but maybe some James Harden revenge if he is definitely going to go tonight on his old team. So maybe
I would agree only if he was capable.
How about some props? How about some Harden props? You think who's gonna score for them tonight? I mean, I gotta imagine his stuff will be set pretty high in this game, but I think that it could be a spot for some Harden revenge tonight. So maybe we'll check out. We'll check out. Yeah, we'll check out his props in this spot. I mean, hey, why not? It could be his night. But as far as that side goes, man, I just the Rockets got to cool off. I mean, they're too hot. I still think a depleted Nets team is a better team than a fully loaded Houston.
I don't know, man. A depleted Nets team is pretty bad. Like if you get outside of Joe Harris, KD, Harden,
Right.
and LaMarcus, I mean that's a pretty bad team. Like you're probably starting who like Bembry, Bruce Brown.
Yeah, I mean it's good. It's not good.
Maybe
it won't be pretty. Yeah, it won't be. It's a good stay away spot game, but maybe a Harden prop.
Watch it be like the game of the night.
Yeah, it might be because it'll be so bad. I mean, it could be close. It
like
says
that Tennessee game last night.
Oh my God! Don't even talk about that one. All right, we got to get back to your Mavs here, AC. Kind of a blown game last night. Not kind of, it was a blown game.
Yeah.
Do you like them with revenge on their minds? Now they have to go to Memphis. Memphis has been lights out without Ja. I mean, obviously they're better with Ja, but they've played better without him all of a sudden. 3-point spread. What do you like in this?
Yeah, this is really going to be contingent on Luka. Luka right now is questionable. I always harp on not handicapping with injury in mind, but when it comes to the Lukas of the world and players of that caliber, he's not even like a top 3 player, but just what he does for the team makes him so valuable. So if there's no Luka, Grizzlies are going to win. But if Luka does play tonight, I do like the Mavericks, not only to cover, but to win outright on the road tonight.
Yeah, I think it's tough for me to trust them again after last night, but the line here, I think if you can get them again, like I talked about at the top of this with the Bulls, I think a plus 130 dog in this game tonight. I do like the Mavericks as well. I think they do get a bounce back from last night. And the Grizzlies, man, they got to regress without Ja. I mean, they're due for a letdown spot tonight. All right, Nuggets, Pelicans. We're doing it again, AC. Why are the Pelicans plus 2?
Every time, man. Plus 2, man. I don't understand. They're arguably the worst team in the NBA. Maybe the Magic are worse. But they're always a short dog every single game. They've been favorites too a few times. And if Jokic, like you said, is a top 4 MVP candidate according to oddsmakers right now, like he should be more than enough to beat this team. It's so weird. I'm never gonna touch Pelicans games again. I'm gonna lay off, man. You tell me.
I want to take the Nuggets, but I'm like, okay, why are they minus 2? So I'm probably going to be with you here again, AC. I think they just continuously scare me off, but then they always lose. So, like, I don't know. I mean, they lost to the Rockets. They did beat the Mavs, though, once. So I will say I would have went on the Mavs. So I'll give them that. But, I mean, for the Nuggets, again, you just got to make sure that these guys go, that Barton goes as well. Him and Jokic have, like, always been day-to-day. Excuse me. So just keep an eye on that.
One notable thing about this game is Zion is getting closer. Like he's been practicing a lot more, and I think he's been joining team drills and stuff like that. But yesterday it was reported that he's 330 pounds dead. Wow. And you know the reports are probably giving him like a 20-pound cushion. So he's closer to 350 in my opinion.
Jeez. Yeah, that's unreal. I mean, you wonder like when he comes back what it'll be like, right? I mean, can he come back right now playing at that weight?
And it's crazy because I was just watching like Duke highlights from 2 years ago when he was.
He was like small, like fairly small.
He was cut up, dude, and he was so athletic, and and it's like, dude, like if he was that size in the NBA, he would not get hurt. He would dominate. I just don't understand why he can't knock off like.
Can't stay in shape. No, it is a shame for sure. Hoping that he gets back to normal and we could see him one of the most electric in the league. AC, we still have 4 games to go. This slate is huge. Jazz T-Wolves, we'll try and get through these ones, guys, pretty quick for you. Jazz T-Wolves tonight. T-Wolves plus 6.5, but we know they've had to deal with some injuries with D'Lo. Yeah. What's your thoughts on this game? Did the Jazz blow them out?
Yeah, this one's tough. No D'Angelo Russell is big against the Jazz, who are, they have a really elite backcourt. It's tough. Like I like the Timberwolves talent. Like every time we talk about the team, I'm just always enamored with Cat, Anthony Edwards, Malik Beasley, Russell, but they're on a 2-game losing streak. They don't really cover at home, especially as dogs. The line is moving towards them, so everyone's probably, making a play for the Timberwolves. But I would be cautious, man. I think these are the games where elite teams just cover and win pretty comfortably. So I kind of lean the other way. I go against movement here and kind of like the Jazz. What about you?
Sorry, I see. I had to make a quick move there with the dog.
No worries.
Started chewing my phone charger. This is a game for sure, though. I'm with you that I think it's a stay away for me. Jazz have been such a tough team to handicap this season. For a variety of reasons, but T-Wolves, when D'Lo's going, again, do I think they're back to a playoff team? I kind of do. I like this Timberwolves team, but no D'Lo, I can't trust them in this spot tonight. All right, let's get through these 3 here, AC. Blazers and Warriors, pretty insane to see a 14-point spread, but we know why, right? McCollum now, you feel the collapse long, really hope his health is okay. But with the Warriors, obviously no Dame. I believe Anthony Simons is out, correct? Again, in this year, Little's been banged up.
Yeah.
I mean, they're missing 4 of their guys, right? Do you think that this is a kind of a breezing game for the Warriors, minus 14 tonight?
I think so. When you look at the full game, I think they're going to keep it kind of close in the first half, and then the Warriors' elite third quarter team is going to take over. So I actually look at maybe I'm not going to bet on it just because the spread is crazy dead. But if you want to look in the prop markets, what dead is really good at is doing the under. So if you expect blowouts, maybe look at Steph Curry unders, maybe look at, Andrew Wiggins unders, things like that. Because if it's a blowout, then these starters are going to sit for the majority of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it could be a good spot to take like a Curry under in this game. I saw his like 40 points. It's plus like 4,000 or something crazy, like 40 plus points. I think that could be like you look at it and you're like, all right, wait, who's going to defend him? But it's going to be a blowout game in my opinion here. I think that this gets ugly early, and the Warriors kind of just get blown or blow them out in this spot. Magic Kings. Do we trust the Kings here? I kind of like them first half. AC, what do you think? They're 6.5.
Oh, I mean these two teams are two of the most disappointing teams in the league. I kind of like it with you. I like the first half Kings because we know they can't close. Is Harrison Barnes playing? Let me check. He's questionable. If Barnes was playing, then they're a much better closing team. But the Magic are without Jalen Suggs tonight. They're without Etuan Moore tonight. So they still have a ton of people missing. I look at Mo Bamba props. He's actually been having quietly a really, really elite year when it comes to stats, blocks, assists, rebounds, steals, like that. So look into Mo Bamba, like blocks plus steals, props, something like that. So that's the only angle I have in this game, Dad.
Yeah, like I said, I like the first half for the Kings. Have they been tough to trust? Of course. But I do think ultimately that they get this done tonight in this spot.
All right, one final game.
Often. One game left, AC, and it's the Celtics and the Blazers. This is a game a lot of people ask us about. I like the Celtics and Clippers. What is your thoughts? I like the Clippers here.
Yeah, same with you. I like the Clippers. I think this is very similar to last night's read. We were on the Lakers last night. I think we're both going to be on the Clippers tonight.
Yes, sir. All right. I think we hammered it out a little bit over time. AC, we're about to be right back on another show live, but we just want to thank our friends at 7 Stack Sports. Make sure you all give them a follow on Twitter. And thank you to 7 Stacks. AC, great show again, and best of luck tonight, everyone, with your NBA bets.
Yep, good luck, guys.